Hi, good to see you on this Sunday. U.S. President Joe Biden scheduled to arrive in Ottawa this Thursday. It marks his first trip since being elected president in 2020. And there are a number of big issues on the agenda for both countries, including Haiti, climate change, and defense spending, with a focus on NORAD. For more on the visit, I spoke to Canada's ambassador to the United States, Kirsten Hillman, earlier. Ambassador Hillman, nice to see you, and nice to see you here in Canada, too.
Oh, it's great to be here.
This is obviously the first bilateral state visit since Obama's trip. Why is this such an important moment for this to happen?
Well, you know, a lot has happened in the world in the last couple of years since the Biden administration came in. The Prime Minister and the President, they meet often. They meet in the U.S., they meet in Mexico, they meet around the world at the G7, G20, and in many places. But what's really special about a visit like this is that we're going to focus primarily on the bilateral relationship. Of course, we'll talk about the situations that are existing in the world and how we're working together all over the world, but we'll also focus on how we are, you know, sources of strength for each other. And I think that that's going to be the theme of this visit, is that we are there making each other stronger and better, whether it's economically or from a security perspective, our societies, you know, open, safer, more just. That is what we're looking to achieve here, and that's what makes it really special.
And I want to go through some of those topics in particular, but there had been suggestions to me that this visit would be multiple cities, it would be multiple days. The Prime Minister even said publicly he and the President would get to a shop floor to meet with workers. That is not happening, and I'm wondering if that's disappointing, that it was not quite what Canada had envisaged.
Well, you know, the President is coming for 2 days. He's making an address to Parliament. He's going to have a variety of different interactions, and he and the First Lady are going to have some important quality time with the Prime Minister and Madame Grégoire Trudeau. I think that it's from my perspective, as the person representing Canada and the United States, those moments of really having time together privately to really continue to build their really strong bond, but then talk to all Canadians through an address to Parliament. This is very, very good news.
Okay, I'll just dig into some of the issues then that we expect to be on the agenda. Certainly Roxham Road and the Safe Third Country Agreement. And the Prime Minister has said that he would like to see a conversation on that. What is your expectation that we would see any progress, any negotiations on this issue at all?
Well, I think the first thing to say is that, and I'm sure Canadians realize this, the issue of migration is enormous for the United States, and it's very important to us, and therefore, of course, it's going to be a topic of conversation between the leaders. There are people that are desperate, and they're fleeing their countries, they're in danger, they're dying. The U.S. had over 2 million people that it encountered as irregular or as migrants at their southern border last year, over 2 million. So it's a crisis of very significant proportions. And it's a crisis of important proportions for us, too, in Canada with Roxham Road. So there's no way that the leaders are not going to want to spend some good time, important time talking about this and what we are doing together in the hemisphere, and then, of course, at the borders as well.
Is it fair to say, though, that for the United States, as certainly your counterpart, Ambassador Cohen in Ottawa, has suggested, that this is not really the primary point of concern for the United States? They're much more concerned about the southern border. And I wonder how challenging it is then to get them to pay attention to the concerns that we have.
So, you know, this is what I would say. I don't think there's a single issue that is important to Canada in our relationship with the United States that they don't take seriously when we raise it with them. Does it mean that we get to a solution immediately? Does it mean that we get to a solution that is completely the one that Canada was looking for? Not always, right? Sometimes it's compromise, and sometimes it takes longer than we want. But I have been in Washington, I've been ambassador for 3 years, and there isn't a single topic with the Biden administration that we have said, look, this is really important to us, we need to work on this, where they've said, look, it's not a priority for us, I'm sorry. Never, not once, and this is certainly not the case with respect to our border.
The other major issue, and I don't know if it's going to come up, but certainly the United States has concerns about Haiti, and there has been pressure from them for Canada to take some sort of lead on stabilizing the country. There's a lot of reluctance, as you know, in this country for that to happen. Is that a reasonable request from the United States? And how would you characterize, I guess, the pressure on that point?
So I think pressure is probably not a word I would use here.
Okay.
I think what I would say is that we are in constant communication with the Americans around the situation in Haiti, but not just the Americans, other countries in the region and international bodies and allies that we have on this issue. We have taken a number of steps. As people know, Canada has been very aggressive in the sanctions that it's taken against those who are funding the criminals in Haiti and the gangs in Haiti. Humanitarian aid, the U.S. is also providing a lot of aid as well. And we're really deeply interested in, as are the Americans, in making sure that whatever solution we find is one that's workable for Haiti and for Haitians and implementable by Haitians. So we're focusing right now on looking at how to train the Haitian National Police, and we're talking to the U.S. and other allies about that. In terms of other steps that might need to be taken or not taken or when, it's sort of like a constant reconsideration, a constant sharing of views about what's happening and what is going to work and what it will be welcomed and accepted by the people on the ground in Haiti.
On defense spending, again, a long preoccupation by the United States for Canada to increase defense spending. I'm sure Ukraine will be on the agenda. Is there something there that Canada is committed to doing to show how serious it is in terms of commitment? And maybe that's just NORAD, modernizing NORAD, which is certainly on our government's agenda. But where might that conversation go, Ambassador?
So I am hoping that we have a really robust conversation on NORAD. I think NORAD is an institution that is very important to both our countries, and I think that it's become apparent and clear, very recently, as when there was the spy balloon, that NORAD is doing exactly what it's meant to do. From where I sat in Washington, I have to say, although that incident was, unfortunate that it happened in a sense, I was quite happy to see the degree to which American media and Americans were thinking about NORAD in a way that I hadn't seen for a while. Understanding it a little bit better, understanding that it was a joint command, understanding that it patrols our two countries, and it's the only joint command in the world, right? It's a very, very special thing. So I think, sort of back to my comment on the overall theme of making sure that we're making this trip about investing in the strength of each other's strength. NORAD is a big part of that. So I think the U.S. is very pleased with the announcements we made so far with respect to NORAD modernization, with our purchase of the aircraft. And I think, as people may know, we are also doing a defense review right now. So there will be more to come. I think that discussion is in a good place, and I'm looking forward to participating in that with the Prime Minister and the President as they talk about the challenges that are facing us.
Okay. Ambassador Hillman, that was a long list to get through, but it's going to be a busy few days for you. Thank you for making the time.
Yeah, it sure is. Thanks, Rosie. Great to see you.